Hi, this is Doc David from Austin, Texas, and we have a wonderful call today, and we have two guests. We have Dr. Irina on the call, who's our health boss, founder of healthboss.org, and also the community of home healers. And we have Artemis on the call. Artemis is the more and more that we learn about Artemis, the more we're in love, and we just gain so much information. And plus, a groundbreaking Swiss technology. And Artemis and Dr. Rena, you guys we all had the opportunity to actually have our first dose of this a week ago Thursday. And so share. I love the title, the good, the bad, and the smelly. And this was not smelly. This tasted absolutely wonderful.
Well, I think you would be good to give a little bit of preamble to that. That it is a new product coming out of the VIZ PUR technology. It's the fourth product of their line. Fifth product of their line. It's not on the market yet. It's on the we have only samples, so we had a chance to sample it. And the basis of the product is actually krill oil that is water soluble. So we all know, at least I, growing up in Russia, we all had to take the fish oil when we were kids. And that was a very, very traumatic experience because this thing it doesn't taste good at all. So the moms would invent all sorts of interesting things and motivations for the kids to do it, and certain techniques to do it. So we would put a teaspoon of fish oil on a rye bread and put the salt on top and do whatever just to get the taste out, so the kids would swallow it, and it was always a battle. So, but we obviously understood the value of the omega-3 that is in the fish oil. So Swiss guys came up with the technology, as you already know. VIZ PUR is the water-soluble ingredients and nutrients. So they actually managed to do the krill oil, make the krill oil water-soluble, and remove the taste of krill, or any smell of it. So it actually tastes pretty good. I can't say anything about the results or what I felt as a result of this because I only took one dose, but it was really pleasant. I have to tell you that the taste was pleasant, and it did not create any gagging reflex that you usually have when you try to swallow a teaspoon of krill oil or fish oil. So the experience was good. And I'm sure on the repeated use will give you great health benefits.
For most people choosing to supplement anything in their lifestyle, omega-3s can be one of the most powerful things to supplement. And the Super Omega from VIZ PUR, it's very unique because of the micellation. The micelle technology gives almost instantaneous uptake and assimilation of the omega-3s found in krill oil. And I'll start by sharing a little bit of my experience with it because I did have a unique experience when I took it with Dr. Wolfgang. And I have taken fish oil for years in the past, and I would take 3 and 6 tablespoons a day of fish oil when I read Dr. Barry Sears' book, The Omega RX Zone. And it wasn't always the most pleasant experience because, a lot of fish oil capsules and liquid fish products, they have kind of a fishy and smelly taste. They're not very yummy in aroma or flavor. And yet the Super Omega, it was very pleasant, very mild. It had the flavor of clove and cinnamon. It was really a wonderful flavor. What was even more amazing, though, was when I took it, within about 30 to 45 seconds, I could feel the benefits of the products in my eyes. It was almost like there was an additional coating or nutrient factor in my eyes and vision, and that's because of the DHA. Now, scientifically, I know in our body the highest concentration of DHA, essential fatty acids, is in the brain and the eyes. And krill oil and fish oils are very high sources of EPA and DHA, omega-3 fatty acids. And so when I took the Super Omega, I could feel it in my eyeballs. Now, I know it might sound a little strange, keep in mind to our audience that I've been mostly raw and vegetarian for 7 years. I have a very clean system. My cell pathways are very open, meaning I don't have a lot of, weight or toxins. And so when I take a product that has a high bioavailability, like the VIZ PUR product line, I feel it very quickly. And so I was very amazed, David and Dr. Rena, to feel the benefits of the DHA omega-3 acids in my eyes. It was almost like there was an extra layer of lubrication. And it was really wonderful. Wonderful benefit.
Artemis, when you studied basically with Dr. Barry Spears, or is it Sears or Spears?
Yeah, Dr. Sears, the founder of the Zone Diet. He did a lot of research into omega-3s, particularly in
can you share with us that the power of that, just how important that is for us? And
yeah, well, I think for the most important thing for people to understand about omega-3 fatty acids is that what they do in the body is they improve circulation by thinning the blood. Omega-3 fatty acids are natural blood thinners, and so they help improve circulation to every vein and artery, and that's how they help heal the heart and boost heart health, is because they help thin the blood. They help create fluidity and flexibility in the body. Now, omega-3 fatty acids are known as essential fatty acids, so we don't get them from the inside. Our body does not manufacture omega-3s, so it is essential to consume them from an outside source. And there are plant sources and there are animal sources. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Another benefit of omega-3 fatty acids is that Dr. C has discovered that they improve cell-to-cell communication through the function of naturally produced hormones. Our hormones in the body are produced from fat. And so omega-3 fatty acids are a nutrient boost or precursor to our body's ability to produce hormones which enhance cell-to-cell communication. So that means omega-3 fatty acids from food and from supplementation are enhancing every cell in our body and how our cells communicate to each other. One of the other major benefits of consuming higher quantities of omega-3s, I'm not just talking about like eating fish or eating like, hemp seeds or flax. I'm talking about like taking like a really powerful therapeutic dose of omegas, like in the form of the super omega from VIZ. When you take a higher level of omega-3s, you're giving your brain more nutrition, enhancing brain function, cognitive functions, memory recall and retention. You're literally, omegas are brain food. And what I didn't know until I started studying Dr. Sears' work is that the brain is made up of mostly fat. That, when you call people fatheads, you ain't lying. That's not a joke. Our brains are made up of mostly fat in the form of omega-3 fatty acids. The highest concentration of DHA is in the brain and the eyes. So when we begin to supplement or add a higher quantity of DHA and EPA fatty acids, it can improve our brain function, memory, recall, retention, cognitive functions. Our sharpness, our mental alertness can improve. And these are the things I experienced taking omega-3s. I experienced it instantaneously with the VIZ Super Omega. It was really cool. Now, there are plant source of omega-3 fatty acids that are known as unactivated omega-3s. And there are activated sources of omega-3 fatty acids found from cold water fish like salmon, tuna, and mackerel, and krill. Now let's talk a little bit about
squid also. Oh.
And let's talk a little bit about nutrient density, because the plant sources of omega-3s are wonderful. They're a great source of omega-3s. And yet the body has to take that unactivated source of omega-3 from like foods like flax or chia or hemp and activate it and convert it into an EPA or DHA form, which is then utilized by the brain and the tissues. Now, there is one exception. There's algae that do have EPA and DHA in trace amounts. When you look at the plant source, though, it's not a therapeutic or adequate form of EPA and DHA for most body types. And so when you're looking at like the super omega made with krill, that is a very nutrient-dense very high form of EPA and DHA fatty acids. So it's a fully activated source. And then you add the micellation, you add the body's that Swiss technology they created, creating almost instantaneous assimilation of these very valuable omegas into the body, and you have a wonderful source of omega-3s that can potentially give you that fluidity and flexibility, that heart health, the brain health, the increased memory recall and retention, that alertness, that greater cognitive function. And so you have plant sources, you have animal sources, you have unactivated, and you have activated, and then you have the micellation, and that just takes it to a whole new level.
Wow, I thank you so much. That really helped a lot. The Super Omega Plus is really a proprietary formula of krill oil, and it's blended with cofactor Q-CoT10 and 50 milligrams, which is amazing in its own right. And then we're adding vitamin D, adding vitamin E, along with D-ribose. And D-ribose is an amazing sugar which the body can utilize. And actually there's a study that was done here in Dallas, Texas, just a short time ago, that it's the only nutritional supplement found or studied which actually helped with pain, with fibromyalgia patients, working with their pain and their pain levels and discomforts. And then along with that, and Dr. Reyna and Artemis, please help me with explaining the antioxidant, the astaxanthin. Are you following me?
Yes, yeah, astaxanthin.
Can you say it again so I can get it?
Astaxanthin.
Okay, which is a potent anti-inflammatory and cardioprotective nutrient all on its own. Can you share more about that Artemis?
I know just a little bit about astaxanthin because it's actually very high in goji berries.
It's very high in is algae, which have gotten very stressed, and that's when they turn red. So that the wonderful flamingo has that beautiful, and when these basically microalgae and animals get stressed, they produce, and you got to say it again for me, Artemis.
Astaxanthin.
Which then is, again, an amazing antioxidant. It's kind of funny. In my past, when I've done a lot of work with nutrition and try to explain it, people always say, well, what about suntan lotion? And I ask, and I said, well, does a grape, which is sitting out for 12, 14 hours a day, need suntan lotion? And then they go, well, no. I said, well, how come? And the reason is that grape seed produces an amazing antioxidant in order to bathe, basically, the body in that. So when it is receiving all this oxidative stress from the sun, it's taken care of. So now what do? If we ingest that grape seed as well as the berry or the food source, then we can also then enjoy that. And when we have that, it's amazing how then those antioxidants would then assist us the same way as the berry did with our own sunburn or other oxidative stresses to go on.
Yeah, astaxanthin. There's research in astaxanthin also to help correct vision and help protect the eyes. Because I've read that red foods and that red pigment you were talking about, many of the red foods also have higher levels of astaxanthin in them, like the red algae and red goji berries. And when we have higher levels of this antioxidant in our body, it's going to help protect our skin and our vision and our eyes and improve the functioning of our eyes and brain.
Oh, as well as the amazing cardio benefits. There are other studies which have shown the gradual reversal of diseases called Alzheimer's and other cognitive diseases that are happening. And so now we have it all covered beautifully with the VIZ Super Omega Plus. We believe that it will be coming out the first or second week in September. I know we're all looking forward to it. Dr. Reyna, your description earlier was so beautiful when you talked about, how your mother came after you with cod liver oil.
Well, actually, all Russian mothers, not just mine.
Yeah, that's it. Here.
And typically, that's what grandmothers do.
Yeah, right. And what is the grandmother called in Russian? It's that beautiful name.
Babushka.
Babushka. So here's babushka with here. So
with a fish, with a spoon, with a fish shell. Yep, that's a pretty typical picture. Yes.
Right. So here's babushka.
And not just that. It's with a fish oil in the right hand and a piece of rye bread with the salt on it in the left hand, so to put in the mouth right after the fish out.
So they had a technique to get it down,
Yeah,
exactly.
Open up, and here we come. So,
yep.
So share with you had a chance to really ingest a dose, and what was your take on that?
As I said before, I didn't really feel the effect of it because it was just one dose, but it was a pleasant taste, and it went in quite easily.
In my case, I had a chance not to have one dose. Oh boy, not two, not three, but I was able to have 4 over the course of 2 days. And we received half an actual dose of what will be in a packet, or what is recommended to take per day. And the first time I took it was in San Antonio, and I was just amazed at not only was it they call it a chocolate spice, Swiss chocolate spice, with the cinnamon little bit aftertaste. But it was delightful. But when I had it the second time, and then the third dose, which would actually be a dose and a half, I was amazed that the next morning I really felt like, oh wow, my brain really is coming back online. And it's one of those things where you're getting an awareness like, I didn't know how bad my brain was down. Now I'm starting to get some other. I swear, it's just like all of a sudden these other processors inside of me started coming back online, and I just would relax. I could feel after I took a dose how my blood pressure changed. How I just felt more in my body, and I just knew I was just getting good nutrition. So this truly is nutrition that you can feel.
Yeah, I felt it almost right away, and I was really, it wasn't expected for me when I took the dose of Super Omega. And honestly, David, I had some holdbacks of taking krill oil, and one of the things I've been taught by my mentor is prove all things to be true and hold fast to that which is good. And so I throw all the belief systems and the knowledge and the research and the papers aside, and when I'm taking a product, I just connect with it and feel it. And then what I felt from the Super Omega was really unique in my body. And then I remember Dr. Wolfgang saying what the mycelium does and how taking a fat-soluble, vitamin and making it water-soluble and making those omega-3 fatty acids water-soluble for instant, digestion into the body. It's like I felt that, and I think that's one of the key things about the VIZ PUR line is increasing assimilation, because we are what we eat, and we are what we assimilate. And many of us in the past life may have had compromised digestive systems, or we're not assimilating. And even when we're taking, like we're eating fish or we're taking fish oils, we may not be getting the full benefits of these foods and supplements because we're not assimilating properly. And with the micellation technology, the assimilation is dramatically improved into the small intestine by making the fats water soluble. And in the Super Omega, you have the krill plus the vitamin D and vitamin E. So you have all three of those working together.
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the importance of micelles in fat digestion. Do you guys think that's a good idea?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, our bodies consist of over 60, really many places over 70% water. And our digestion takes place in a water environment. And our body composition enables digestion and utilization of certain substances, and it inhibits others. Well, my thing is, how is oil and water being mixed in our bodies? Some of the most vital nutrients, such as vitamin D, E, A, coenzyme Q10, fish oils, krill, And most plant extracts, notice I'm saying that, most plant extracts are fat-soluble, and that makes it very difficult for our bodies to fully utilize them. Now, our body's amazing solution to these substances is to create micelles to help absorption. Simply put, micelles are like small cages. They're water-loving on the outside and fat-loving on the inside. Now, natural micelles are formed in our bodies where good fats are encased in the cage, which helps them swim in the water environment of our digestive system. When micelles come in contact with the intestinal cells, they release then the contents of that fat-soluble nutrients, then enabling absorption into the cells. Those good fats can then be transported within the cells and then actually put into the blood and lymph and ultimately reach then our vital organs. Now, unfortunately, our naturally formed micelles only cover the regular needs for the body. And as we age, the number of micelles, again, that's going to depend on how our body is producing bile salts, naturally come into play as the body decreases. And this is where the Swiss VIZ PUR micelle technology comes into play. A Swiss doctor and a pharmacist have developed this process to create stable micelles in the laboratory. So simply put, this process encases the fat-soluble nutrients in the micelle cage to make them bioavailable. Those nutrients are then put into a great-tasting liquid. We ingest them. Because they're stable, they actually go through our normal acidic digestion tract where we're, with stomach acids, and then they get uptaked immediately into our small intestine. Also, this wonderful Dr. Wolfgang Schoenfeld talks about like a soup that's created when they make these micelles, is they create a synergy in itself, and it's wonderful, and it's really nutrition when ingested that you can feel. So how was that? Was that okay for explanation?
That was very good, David.
Yeah, well, and that information will be available on our sites. Dr. Reyna has a wonderful site called healthboss.org. A new site is being created, and that site is called VIZ Revisited, or not revisited, reviewed, VIZreviewed.com, as well as iloveviz.com. So that one's kind of fun. And Artemis, for people to learn more about Artemis, what is the best website that they can learn more about you and many of the other things that you share with the world?
Oh, you can visit our main webpage, newearthcenter.com. And we have products, programs, and services to really help inspire people to feel younger, to become more beautiful, and achieve radiant health through raw foods and juices.
Wow, and you really do. Dr. Reyna and I, you did a wonderful interview for us, and we had some computer glitches on that, but we learned so much that we're inspired to actually purchase a new improved juicer, and we'll be getting that in the next week. So we thank you for that, and you told us I'm going to videotape you opening it up so you can show us all the amazing things you get out of that juicer.
Yeah, so, we'll get that on video, and we'll have a juicing party, and we'll make some live green juice together.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Awesome. Dr. Reyna, is there anything else on our closing that you'd like to add?
No, I think everything was pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, so I thank you. And this is something that we're looking forward to do. It looks like every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time might be the good time for us all. And every week we'll be sharing some other aspects about the VIZ PUR products and about nutrition in whole, and just ways that we can be supported as well as we can support you. And so thank you all for being on the call, and we enjoy. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
What's the website address again, please?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Say that again.
What's the website address again, please?
It's coming aboard real quick. It's going to be VIZ, VIZ, reviewed, R-E and then VIZREVIEWED.com.
Okay, one moment. VIZREVIEWED.
I hope, yeah, that sounds right. Another site will be iloveviz.com, and that one's big. And then we have some of the information at healthboss.org. And that's just HEALTHBOSS.org. Does that help?
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.